All right, so this is one of my favorite projects. I love everything that we do, but the reason why I love this project so much is it gives you an opportunity to tell me who you are as a writer. And a lot of you are like, I don't know, I hate writing. Don't worry, we are going to break you open when we talk about vulnerability. That's what we're going to be doing first and foremost with this assignment. And the biggest thing to understand is I just want to know who you are as a communicator. Let's put it that way. We'll say, who are you as a communicator? But deep down, it's, who are you as a writer? But we talk about communication. What different ways do you communicate and how do you communicate? Ultimately, there's a lot that goes on with this, and I see students do so many cool things. I don't want to put a box on it, but the only thing that I do need to make sure I get from you is a 3 to 5 paper, which means at the very least 750 words, and you can go up to about 2,500 words, right? So you can make it as big as you want to make it, but I need more than just like a page and a half. All right, so we need at least 750 words of you describing who you are as a writer, and I'm going to kind of get into that just a little bit to help you understand what I mean by that. But first and foremost, when we talk about communication, who are you as a communicator? Are you a social media person? Do you love your TikToks? Do you like singing? Do you like dancing? Do you like making art? Do you like writing comic books? Like, what are some things that you like doing to express who you are and to communicate with others and create that sense of either community or maybe just kind of putting stuff out there because you just want to put stuff out there and it's just an outlet? What about maybe clothes you wear, or we're always trying to communicate with people in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so we have that, but I also want you to include how are we doing that with the way that we write. So try and figure out who are you as a writer in the ways in which you communicate, right? So sometimes students will be like, I hate writing, English is my least favorite subject and I don't want to write, and they get very like defensive on it. Again, remember, that's a fear of not being good enough, and I want you to not have that fear in this project. This is the most open creative opportunity for you in this whole class. This is a great opportunity for you just to be like, I'm gonna try some weird shit. And I have seen some weird shit and I love it. I love it. So if you're not a creative person, that's why I have that page, 750 words to 2,500, right? So I give you the box if you want it, and I'm gonna give you a list of questions. But for those of you who want to try something new, and since we're online and you've got some time, I say time as if you have time. Sorry, I know better than if you're online because you don't have time. But I want you to try and take a moment and maybe do something fun. And so I would love, we're going to have you upload your, what do you call it, your videos and your papers and stuff. We're going to do some peer reviews through Google Docs, and I'm going to show you how to do that later so you can upload your videos. Pictures if you've made something. So we're gonna be sharing this with our peers, rough drafts first, and then we're gonna be doing a final thing, and we're gonna be uploading that in a discussion. So the first thing I want from you is, in your rough draft, I want you to kind of go through and try and pull out some ideas that you have on who you are as a communicator. And so with our rough drafts, again, we might not know really what we're doing here. And a lot of people get frustrated. They're like, just tell me what to do. I want you to show me who you are as a writer. How does that work for you? I've had students do screenplays. I've had students, they've made boards and they've made thought boards, like Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. When he's sitting there and he's got all little lines everywhere, his little red lines, trying to figure stuff out. I've had students do that. You can do a video communicating, whether if you know sign language, maybe you're a second language learner, or you want to share half of your story in your native tongue. You can do that too. Share with us your experience. I've had students, and I'm just going to give you examples to help you understand how this works. So I had one student who wrote an essay, but the essay started in Spanish, and this was so her journey as a writer, and it started out with when she started kindergarten, what her level of literacy in her language versus English was, and how teachers interacted with her, and some experiences, and she kept growing, and she changed her dialogue to go from fully in Spanish all the way into how she speaks English now, and that beautiful growth that she was experiencing and how she felt in going through all of that. And what it means for her to be, able to speak two languages. So this is how she communicates and writes. And for me, it was very beautiful. Like, I'm crying over here. I'm like, that's so cool, because she was vulnerable. And that's what I'm looking for here. I've had students tell all kinds of really beautiful stories. I've had students who were straight to the facts, like, I hate writing because I had my 8th grade teacher, she was a bitch, and I don't ever want to write again. And you know what? I know that feeling because I have been there. And I've hated teachers because they didn't understand the creativity in which I was trying to produce this work. And they're like, you didn't do what I told you. And it's like, don't you understand me? So I'm trying to be very open to this, to the best of my abilities. The more you put towards it, as creatively as you'd like to do it, the more I can see your willingness to try something new. So just try something new, whatever that might be. If you prefer to write in binary code, you can write in binary code. You just have to give us the code, because again, I am not literate in binary, so you would have to explain what you're writing in. I've had students talk in military codes, in military acronyms. They'd have to break it down, right, in the quiz we gave. So what's another way? Music. You can write, you can write in music in some way, shape, or form. You can write a song. You can sing us the song. I'd love to see the videos of that. If you want to do a TikTok, you can create a TikTok. No matter what creative aspect of this you do, you could do with puppets. I've done things with puppets. That's fine too. You can do things with animals, like maybe you're embarrassed to have a video of you. You can have your animals sitting there, and I don't know. I have no idea. These are weird things I'm throwing out there to let you understand that I am open to all different ways that you want to show me how you communicate, who you are as a writer. Because remember, composition equals identity and literacy. Your literacy is the way in which you interact with the world, your experiences, okay, and your critical thinking towards that, in any way, shape, or form. So anyway, your composition on how you communicate, again, it's your experience, and it's your literacy, which is your experience in critical thinking. Anyway, so long story short, I want you to communicate with me who you are as a writer and what does that look like. I'll know from your work. I always know when I'm reading stuff, what, where students are and all that. I've had students tell me entire stories of their trips to Europe, and, I didn't realize they were a creative writer, and they didn't know either. They just loved writing adventure stories, and that was their way of communicating. So anyway, I leave this very, very open for you. The biggest thing is that I'm going to have a rubric for this too. I want your experience as a writer, your hope if you had struggles, and, how you feel like you could do more with it. Like, what do you maybe want to learn in the end of this class? Like, these are little things, and I'm really looking for your journey as a writer. And I look for, how do I say this? I look for your willingness to try something new. Let's just try something new. Even if you've never done it, no one's here judging you, because we're all just trying to figure it out ourselves. So anyway, if you're one like me and I'm like, I need structure, tell me the things so I can just get the grade, I will provide a rubric of the things that I just need you to hit on, right? Just so that it doesn't go off to left field and I'm like, but I know what, I don't even know. I've seen left field stuff that still came back to communication. So have fun with this. Really, just absolutely have fun with this and enjoy it. If you need, some of the questions are things you might consider. Like, if you're going to write a song, you might write a song about your journey as writing. So what events or situations have you experienced that have shaped you? Whether it's in a positive way as a writer or a negative way, right? So maybe there's an experience that a teacher had that didn't see that you were trying to do something artful and made you feel kind of shitty. And you're like, well, then I'm not going to write again if you can't even get what I'm trying to put out here. What experiences have shaped you as a writer? Okay. How are some social or cultural influences in your life? How have those influenced you, right? So maybe certain forms of art, maybe certain types of music, fashion, social media. TikTok is a huge influencer, and I don't even want to admit that I'm on there and I'm making videos. So yeah, I'm on there anyway. Long story short, we have different ways we communicate, and what's yours? And how do you want to show me which way makes you feel most comfortable in communicating? We'll get to the research and stuff later when, past all that. Right now, we just want to enjoy the art of what it means to communicate. All right, and so how do these cultural or social experiences influence you as a writer? So, like, I love surf culture. There's a lot I don't love about surf culture, but there's a lot of stuff I do love about surf culture, and that influences me in a lot of different ways. So, how does that influence me? But I'm also a teacher, and I also try to be very mindful of, all experiences and things in life. So, how does that aspect of society affect me? So, anyway, try and be as open to this as possible. We're not trying to get political or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. But if there are things that do influence you, just be mindful as we're sharing those. And when we are reading other people's work, we're going to be open-minded as well. So I want you to feel comfortable in being vulnerable with this assignment. So again, all you ultimately need here is 750 to 2,500 words. Okay, so I give you a space to write. Anything in between, you can go over if you want. I have students giving me like 10 pages plus of beautiful stories of their experience because that's what they needed to do to explain their story. I'm all for that. Okay, anything less than 750 words is not adequate. Not adequate at all. I know that some of you, like me, might be very succinct, but I do need you to kind of like find a way to flourish and expand yourself beyond your urge to write as little as possible. So don't try and fart with the font. All right, so I'm still going to be checking word count. I hate doing that, but sometimes I kind of have to, because if you're like me, I'm going to push the limits, and if you let me get away with something, I'm going to get away with it. So anyway, so all I need is the word count. And if you need that structure, you can answer those questions as simply as you want, or that can be how you create your, your song or your video or your dance, however you want to show it. So you can record it. If you're having any issues uploading it, let me know. Send it to me. I can get it up there for you. But just make sure that you do this sooner than later and get on that because it will be due very soon as we move forward. So after our last lecture, I really hope that your understanding of communication helps. Oh, you could make memes if you want, like little memes that show your experience as a writer. I didn't think about that too. TikTok, whatever you want to do. I don't even want to give you ideas because I don't want you to think you have to do that. You could do whatever you want. So I know you're probably going to have questions. And if you do, please go ahead and email me. If you have an idea that you're like, I really want to do this, I'm probably going to say yes. It's very rare I don't say yes, unless for some reason it's like wildly inappropriate or disrespectful for those around you. But knock on wood, that's not usually the case in my classes. So anyway, again, we're open. We're going to try new wild things. Try something new. Say you've never played the guitar and you start just farting around with a guitar. You can talk about your experience in the literacy of learning how to write a guitar and then talk about that in your writing. So anyway, I usually prefer you to write about who you are as a writer and why. Maybe English might be the worst thing in the world for you or something that you're kind of excited about. Just kind of tell me these things. So again, I'll give you a rubric to help you out. But majority of this video, I just want you to understand that, darlings, I am very open to whatever you want to throw my way to explain to me who you are. So anyway, have fun with this. Reach out if you have questions, and I hope it's not so abstract that it makes you go to tears. Don't worry. It's very hard to fail this assignment unless you don't do it or you don't do at least 750 words. Okay? All right. I'll see you on the other side.